back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my September wrap up. September was a really good month. I did a lot of stuff in the month of September. I was able to read a little bit more, which is always a win-win for me. So before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So again, like I said, September was a really good month for me. It was my birthday month, and I celebrated my birthday basically the whole month of September, and this was like the first time I ever did that. I ended up going to Florida for a couple of days, and then of course bought some books for myself. So overall, September was really good. Now when it came to my reading, I read 4 books in total. You guys know last month in August I read 1 book. The month of September, at least read more, and I did. And also, you guys know from my monthly wrap-ups, I talk about what I watched and listened to, so I will share that. Okay, so for books, like I said, I read 4 books. The first book I read, I actually listened to. It's a romance themed book, and it's also a series. It is called Safe With Me, and the series is called Falling for a Rose. So Safe With Me is the first book, and it's by Stephanie Nicole Norris. I did a review on this book because I loved it so much, and it is a 13 book series, but they are novellas. And the good thing is I can, and I did, listen to the whole novel in one day. The first book was about, 2 young people. You have a woman, she's recently divorced. Her husband was like cheating on her, and she's not really looking for anything, but in comes a man, takes her underneath, his wing, and she likes everything about him. She still has some trust issues and is kind of hesitant, due to her previous relationship. And with him, the young man, he comes from a privileged background. His family, they're really wealthy. They own like banks, and he was an ex-boxer. He has some reservations because he just thinks that a lot of women there, want to be with him because of his status and his financial situation. That's basically it. Now, one thing, like I said before, what I like about this series is, and what I've learned about myself, I like series that every sibling has its own book. I love it even more because it's Black romance, and then the narrating is fantastic. Next is another series that I'm currently working on, and I think I have, after this, maybe 2 more books. It's the Bergman Brothers series, and this book is called Everything for You by Chloe Leese. This is also a family romance type of series where each sibling has its own book. And with this sibling, you have Oliver. Oliver, he is a professional soccer player, and it's this young man on his team. What's his man's name? Gavin. They have to work together and like co-captain the professional soccer team, and they're kind of like nemesis. If I'm being honest, this was not my favorite out of the series. I believe the first book is my favorite. How I was able to get along with this is I listened to it and read it at the same time. But I think if I wouldn't have had the audio, I might have DNF'd it. Overall, this really wasn't my favorite. Next is also another series, and it was an anticipated read for this year, and it is The Silent Waters by Brittany Cherry. This is the Element series, but the good thing about the Element series is you can read it standalone because no character at all is in any other books. You have Maggie. Maggie, when she was 10 years old, she saw something very traumatic, and she became mute. And it affected her life, and it affected her family's life, where she only did homeschooling. She didn't go out at all. And we meet her again when she was 10. We meet her the second time when she's about 17. Then we meet her again when she's about her late 20s. But there is a young man named Brooks who she's always had a crush on, but she's the only one that like will open up to him, and he's the only one that takes time to really help her, because like, this affects a family like no other. It was a slow burn. It was not a lot of spice at all. It actually was hardly a lot of spice. So if you are a person that does like romance books or want to get in romance, and you don't really like all that sex, basically, this is a perfect book for you because it was like little to none. With Brittany Cherry, I love her dialogue. She is a writer that can tell a well-rounded story. Lastly, I read our Unsung Black Book Club September pick. This is Country Place by Ann Petrie. This book is set in the 1940s, I believe. It's in New England, Connecticut. You have a young man that he's back from the war, I believe World War II, and he believes that his wife is having an affair, and you just basically see how it goes. I was excited to read this book because I loved her first book, The Street, and Ann Petrie, she was the first Black author to sell 1 million copies. Okay, guys, so that is it when it came to the books. Next, the movies. I watched three movies, and then I have been into a series a little bit, which everyone knows about this series. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, the three movies I watched. The first was called Soap Dish, and this is starring Whoopi Goldberg and Sally Fields. I had never seen this movie before. It's back in the 90s, and it's a comedy. And you have Sally Fields. She is a soap actress. You see the behind the scenes and like the world of the actors and actresses, like, you know, in soap operas. It was so funny. I stumbled up on it because I saw a clip on Instagram and it just cracked me up. And I was like, let me see if I can watch that. And I did, and I really did enjoy it. It's a movie that I actually would watch again. Next is, oh Lord, I went to the Tubi app and I watched a movie called I'm in Love with the Stripper. So I look, no shame in my game. I like them little Tubi movies. Yes, the acting is horrible. They be memorizing their lines. Even like the placement of the camera, it's all bootleg. This one, it's about a young girl, single mother. She's struggling financially. And she's like, look, I need to figure out, like, I'm about to lose my house, my car. I need to figure something out. Her best friend's like, you got the body and the personality. Why don't you come and dance? And at first she's like, I just can't do that. And the girl like, look at all this money I just made in one night. And she does it. And her thing is, okay, I'm gonna do it for a couple of months to kind of stack my chips up, and then I'm gonna be out the game. But then she ends up meeting a young man that she really does like, and he likes her too. And she's kind of like, how am I going to try to navigate this while I'm dancing? He doesn't know. I wonder, will he still be with me? And it was a whole situation. Next movie I watched was Save the Last Dance. And I mean, I've seen this movie so many times. I remember going to the theater to see this back in 2000. I was like 8 years old. And y'all know this movie has Julia Stiles, Kerry Washington. What's the old boy? Not Derek Luke. Y'all know the guy. Y'all know him. He was also in the barbershop movies. But you know what? While I was watching that movie, because I've seen it a billion times, you guys know, okay, Derek, that's the Derek and Chanel. Okay. They're brother and sister, right? Now, was Chanel a junior in high school? Because I know that Sarah and Derek, they were seniors because he was going to Georgetown the next year and then she was going to Juilliard. They didn't specify if they were like a year apart or if they were twins. I really thought about that when I was watching the movie because again, they didn't specify it. But overall, I love that movie. I've seen it a billion times. We'll always watch it. And then lastly, y'all, while I was in Florida for my little vacation, my sister and I, when we were in the hotel, a couple of episodes of Law and Order came on. And it got my juices flowing into watching Law and Order again. I remember when I was about maybe a sophomore or junior in college, it used to come on USA all the time, and I was watching back to back to back episodes, and I had to kind of stop myself because, you know, those can get kind of deep, okay? And I'm a little scaredy cat, but they are so good. And I love the fact that you think that you know who did it, and they turn around and it'll be the person that you don't even think was even involved in, you know, the crime. So I have been watching, it's on Hulu, I have been watching just a couple of episodes, but the one that sticks out to me, it is season 9, episode 1. It is called Alternate. And I wanted to watch this because I saw Cynthia Nixon on the little, you know, screen on the little screen. You guys know Cynthia Nixon, she is Miranda from Sex and the City. Y'all, this was so good. I need to watch this one again. You have Cynthia Nixon's character. She comes in and she says, I'm afraid that my sister is hurting her child. She just got out of prison and, blase, blase. So they go there and they realize it's like a fake baby. And they realize the Cynthia Nixon, character, she has like this personality disorder or whatever, like, multiple personalities, and then she just leads him down to a rabbit hole. But when you figure out what she did, I was outdone, you guys. I am a fan of Cynthia Nixon. I mean, of course I love Sex and the City, but she is a really, really good actress. Especially her dramatic acting is really, really good. That Cynthia Nixon episode, it just got me. Again, it's season 9, episode 1, and it's called Alternate. And lastly, for music, 2 songs I listened to like the whole entire month. First is Lisa Page Brooks. I have been a fan of Lisa Page Brooks. My favorite song of hers is called I Just Want to Thank You. It's called The Grateful Chat. You know, you guys know it if you have been on TikTok. So yeah, that has been my tune, and it will continue to be my tune for probably next month. But love Lisa Page Brooks. And then lastly, this is a new song that I believe just got released this year. It is Queen Naja. It is called Good Girls Finish Last. And the reason why I like this song, I like Queen Naja and I like the song, but the reason why I like it, it's a sample of Destiny's Child, Sweet 16 on the Writings on the Wall album. The Writings on the Wall album that's my favorite album of all times. That's the first, I'm a kid of the 90s. That's the first CD that I ever bought. I literally have the CD. This is the first CD I ever bought, okay? Still have it. And the song that she's sampling is a song called Sweet 16 that Destiny's Child did, okay? The original 4. And then it's a win-win because she's sampling Destiny's Child, so yeah. That is it when it comes to my September wrap up. Again, I had a really good month because it was my birthday month. Thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. I'm still getting them. I really do appreciate them. I had a really good birthday this year, so that's always great. Again, it is my Jesus year. I'm 33. Thankful for that. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. And I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.